Matas Buzelis sat down with Lonzo Ball and Jello on their podcast and revealed some interesting things. Did Billy Donovan hold him back and keep him on a leash? We're going to talk about it. And Matas Buzelis lists some players that he's been working with and wants to work with to expand his game. And to end today's episode, we're going to talk about Caleb Wilson making the Summer League first team. Y'all know we're going to talk about it, break it all down, but you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down for today's daily episode. So if you're tuned in, like what you're listening to, the easiest way you can support the channel is simply by hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. It's the simplest two-step process out there, and it doesn't require any rhythm. Boo-boo, that's all you gotta do. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. But hey, let's get into the content. Matas Buzelis appeared on Lonzo Ball's and his brother Jello Ball on their podcast and talked all things Chicago Bulls. And there's a number of clips surrounding this entire interview that is making its ways around social media. And we got a lot of interesting tidbits from the said interview. And one of those things was Billy Donovan had Matas Buzelis on a leash. Lonzo Ball even broke down gave us a little insight into a story that was very, very interesting to me. Now, I'm paraphrasing here when I go ahead and break this down, but if you want to watch the interview in its totality, it's on social media. But Matas Buzelis talked about how he shot a bunch of threes last season, and Lonzo was like, yeah. He interjected after Matas spoke and pretty much said, yeah, I remember. You can hit probably about 8 out of 10 middies. And one time during film session, Billy Donovan seen you miss a midi and pretty much said, throw the tape out. And that's me paraphrasing. It's obviously a little more lengthier than that, but that's me paraphrasing. And that's the crazy work. While we looked at Billy Donovan and said he's a solid coach, some people maybe even said he's a good coach. This was my number one issue with Billy Donovan, not allowing players to be expansive in their game. There's 3 levels to score. You can score at the rim, you could score at the midi, and you could score at the 3-point line. And that's one thing we did not see from guys like Matas Buzelis. Not just me, not just my co-host and C-Dub, but there are a number of Bulls fans that wanted to see Matas Buzelis expand his shot profile and take more shots. You know what I'm saying? Not just at the 3-point line, not just at the rim, but we wanted to gain some type of insight on what Matas Buzelis could do in the mid-range. If we remember correctly, we remember the moment that Ayo Dosunmu was traded. He talked about, now I'm in Minnesota, I can shoot the midi. That's something that wasn't allowed in Chicago. And a lot of us, we was like, hold on. It wasn't allowed? Yeah, apparently it wasn't. And then Billy Donovan had a pushback and pretty much said, I let DeMar DeRozan operate in the mid-range. Yeah, that's because he's a veteran and told you to hell with you. He pretty much gave you the finger and said to hell with what you're talking about with all these 3-point shots. I'm a mid-range assassin. And must I remind people, when it comes to the art of the mid-range, it's called the art of the mid-range for a reason. Not many people can do it. And I'm not saying that Matas Buzelis is going to absolutely specialize or become an assassin in the mid-range. We just wanted to see it. As basketball fans and basketball lovers and people who played basketball, we understood, or we still understand, the art of the mid-range. Did we somehow forget players that specialize in the mid-range? Just to name a few. Kevin Durant. How do we feel about him in the mid-range? Kobe Bryant, rest his soul. How do we feel about him in the mid-range? The GOAT, Michael Jordan. How do we feel about him in the mid-range? And I know there's going to be some people, well, analytics, fuck all that. There's a thing that there's two things that can be true about breaking down basketball in any other sport. Analytics, they cool. It's cool. But there's actually another side to that called the human aspect. What is the game telling you? If we're looking at basketball and saying, hey, 3 points is more than 2, it could be factual that 3 points is more than 2. Nobody's going to sit up here and tell you that 2 points is more than 3. Nobody's going to say that. But if a guy's 0 for 4 from the 3, don't you think it's time to change up your shot profile? And plenty more examples of people operating in the mid-range. We've seen examples of this leading to championships. What about Kawhi Leonard when he went on his run with the Raptors to win the championship? Yeah, he shot threes, but where was he really, really deadly? The mid-range. Even going to some lesser talents. Chris Middleton on the Milwaukee Bucks run. And we watching him, and we look at Chris Middleton, and we say, hey, on that championship run, you was really cooking in the mid-range. So there's analytics, and then there's a human aspect to this that we should be really, really trying to add to this game that we call basketball. And I'm not saying that Matas Buzelis is going to come out there and be Kawhi. I'm not saying he's going to be Mike. I'm not saying he's going to be Katie or Kobe. I'm saying if you keep missing and chucking threes, can we see a different type of shot? Maybe something that's closer to the rim? Maybe that's something that's easier to make to help you put points on the board. The objective of basketball is to outscore the other team. If we want to break it down to the minute substances of basketball, you want to stop the other team from scoring, and you want to score more points than the opposing team. We can get into the scientific equations if we want to and break down analytics. Talk off-ball, on-ball defense, talk off-court, on-court stuff. Yeah, all that shit sounds cool, but at the end of the day, what do your eyes show you? That's what we do over here on Shy Bulls Podcast. Yeah, we're going to look at the stats. Yeah, we're going to talk about some analytics. But just because somebody has a plus 10 on the actual basketball court doesn't necessarily mean the player had a good fucking game all the time. So when Matas Buzelis mentioned this and Lonzo Ball gives the story on some craziness that he saw, I believe it. Billy Donovan held multiple players back. And if his one supporting argument to push back on something that was said from Ayo Dosunmu is DeMar DeRozan, hey, Billy, I don't believe you. DeMar DeRozan is a seasoned veteran. When he came to your team, seasoned vet, been doing this shit for years. He was going to operate the way he was going to operate regardless of what you said. Real talk. And when we look at Matas Buzelis and we're looking at his game being limited and not him being able to go out there and perform to a high level, we got questions. So I appreciate Matas Buzelis keeping it a buck, and thank Lonzo Ball for confirming everything we were suspecting. Now, the biggest thing is how does Matas move on? Now you're moving on to Tiago Splitter's vision, Tiago Splitter's philosophy. And while they talked about this story with Billy Donovan and Matas being on a leash, we found out that Matas Buzelis has been working with Dirk Nowitzki. I appreciate that. And Matas Buzelis mentioning that he wants to work with guys like Denny Avia, even going on to say, I've been talking to him. Quote, I feel like I was shooting too many threes. Like I need to get to the rim more. I want to know how he lowers his shoulder, how he attacks, end quote, when speaking about Denny Avia. Some other players that Matas Buzelis mentioned was also Franz Wagner and Kevin Durant. Who doesn't want to work out with an assassin like Kevin Durant? I respect it. Kevin Durant is on his way to the Hall of Fame. The moment he retires, he's Hall of Fame bound. And that's not only because he's a hell of a good basketball player, but that's because he specializes in the art of the mid-range. The art of the mid-range. I know we've seen them one-on-ones with Kevin Durant cooking just about everybody. I'm not saying Matas Buzelis is going to be that, but I appreciate it. Go work out with him. Go take up on them notes. Go figure it out. Expand your game. Be a 3-level scorer. We at the rim, we at the mid-range, and we at the three-point line. And that can do wonders for your game, especially if you have that athleticism that Matas Buzelis has. Yeah. So, first and foremost, I want to thank Billy Donovan for leaving. They ain't want to give you up, but I'm glad you gave up. Get the hell out of town. Maybe show your face every now and then, and don't come back to try to coach. We good. We good for sure. But I really do believe that Matas Buzelis, he can continue to expand his game. We're going to see more out of Matas Buzelis under Tiago Splitter, in my personal opinion. We already got little glimpses of Tiago Splitter wanting Matas Buzelis to operate in the pick and roll. We're going to see how interesting that is. We're going to see if he's going to be able to pass the test or if he's going to fail the test. The point is, we want to see him try. We want to see him try, Billy Donovan. So thank you. You're gone. Appreciate you, big dog. Wish you luck on your future endeavors. Bro, that's it. But hey, y'all let me know how y'all feeling about that down below. Now, before we get up out of here, I want to talk about Caleb Wilson. Caleb Wilson made first team All-Summer League. And he joins this list alongside guys like Malik Thomas, Cam Boozer, Braden Burries, and the MVP of the Summer League, Yaxel Lindenborg. Very, very impressive. Hey, I'm just saying. I don't see Darren Peterson on this list. I don't see AJ DeBonce on this list. That's all I'm saying. Now, it's not to say that Caleb Wilson is going to go out there and absolutely win Rookie of the Year, but he got a shot. He definitely has a shot. This young fella comes with a lot of exciting things for Bulls Nation. But I do want to ask this one thing before I continue on to talk about Caleb Wilson. You know what I'm saying? Are we now calling him 8-ball? He posted a clip on social media, and he said, 8-ball, corner pocket. Now, selfishly, I'm going to keep it a buck. Selfishly, I have a C-dub. That's my uncle. That's my road dog. That's my co-host. That's the OG. That's the old head. You know what I'm saying? I got a C-dub. I don't need another one because the one I got drive me nuts. And I don't need this one driving me crazy. Maybe in a good way. But is his name that Chicago is going to give him is 8-ball? He wears the number 8. I'm just saying. And for my old heads, I know there is a rap duo by the name of 8-ball and MJG. They cold. But sometimes we could pass things down to the shorties. And this is a shorty. He wears the number 8. So are we giving him the name 8-ball? I need to know. But shout out to Caleb Wilson making the first team all summer league. Is definitely not the end to his accolades that he's going to accumulate. I'm going to predict that he's going to partake in All-Star weekend, not as an All-Star, but in that freshman sophomore game. Definitely going to be there. Definitely going to have his name thrown in a hat and receive some Rookie of the Year votes. We'll see if he wins it, but I'm throwing his name in there. And I'm going to go out on a limb with Caleb Wilson now on the Chicago Bulls, with Matas Buzelis, who we just finished talking about. I'm predicting the Chicago Bulls lead the league in blocks. It's going to be a block party. And for my people out west, 290, stand up. It's going to be a Fifi. It's going to be a Fifi. I'm just saying, y'all going to be out there to bop. Y'all going to be out there to bop because it's going to be a block party, or AKA a Fifi. And I think Caleb Wilson is going to be, I think he's going to be box office alongside Matas Buzelis, alongside Nick Claxton, and all those others lengthy defenders that we're going to have on the Chicago Bulls. Not that this is not to say that the Chicago Bulls are going to the playoffs, ladies and gentlemen. It's not to say that. But them 25 wins that these sports books are giving the Chicago Bulls, select the over. We're winning more than 25 games. Tell you that right now. We're winning more than 25 games, and we have the potential to lead the league in blocks. Those my hot takes. We winning more than 25 games. Tell you that right now. And we're going to lead the league in blocks. 2 hot takes for you. We coming off steaming hot. It's still the summer out there. We got the burgers coming off the grill. Hell is y'all talking about? But hey, shout out to Caleb Wilson, man. Shout out to Matas Buzelis, because that is it for me today. I appreciate y'all for tuning in to another episode, man. Make sure you drop your comments down in the comment box below, and let's chop it up regarding today's topics. Matas Buzelis mentioning and alluding to Billy Donovan having him on a quote-unquote leash and holding him back. And then Caleb Wilson making the first team all summer league and what's to come for the young fella. But hey, we appreciate y'all. Make sure you always see red, and y'all already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace.
Cognac. Gang.